Hey everybody, welcome to another What's on Dave's Shelf video. As you can see here, we're going to be taking a look at the Hollow World line. So, Hollow World, this came out in the early 90s, and Hollow World is part of Mystara. It's part of the known world, but it's actually about 200 miles down below the crust and everything of the known world. And that's why it's called, I think it's about 200 miles. But anyway, that's why it's called Hollow World. And it's basically a world inside of a world with about 200 miles of gap in between it. And then, the north and the south caps, that's how you're able to access entry into Hollow World. I believe there's some other portals and stuff like that as well that you can get in that way. So Hollow World, when I first saw Hollow World, this was, back when I moved back home from living in Daytona Beach. The first module that I saw was, and this is like 1990, probably 1992ish or so. This was the Kingdom of Nithya, and this was the first module that I saw, and I mean. You just look at it, and it screams Egypt, right? And that's exactly what it is. It's past civilizations of mankind that are no longer around, and that's what the content for Hollow World is about. I don't think Hollow World was finished. I think that, especially with the maps and everything that are in the box set, I think Hollow World was cut short. Simply because I don't know if it was popular enough or it just didn't sell enough. But I really liked Hollow World because I'm a history major, number one. And plus, when I was a kid, I loved reading about Egypt and, the Aztecs and the Mayas and the Greeks and the Romans and the Mesopotamians. And I loved history always. And so Hollow World really caught my eye. And sorry about that. My voice is actually struggling because I made 10 of these What's on Dave's Shelf videos yesterday. So my voice is a little rough today, and I apologize about that. But yeah, for the history fan, I think you would really like Hollow World. I've already touched on the civilizations, and I mean, it was great. In fact, I didn't even know that there was a box set out. Because when I went to Walden's Books, I got this, The Kingdom of Nithya, and I didn't even know there was a box set. So when I went into the game store, this is where I got the box set, which was $8.95. So we'll take a look at the box set first. And this is, obviously for the Hollow World campaign setting. And I'll read this to you guys. The known world, it isn't flat, but it is hollow. Within the sphere of the known world is another world, the Hollow World. There, your characters will meet ancient Nithians, long disappeared from the surface world and thought extinct. Black lore elves living in a magical valley and served by automatons. Wow, say that really quick. Devices that take care of everything, from serving their food to trimming their grass. Askans, terrifying warmongering natives whose taste for battle extends even into their favorite game. The losers always die, and many more. And I mean, this is so historic right here because the Aztecs, they played lots of games to the death. I mean, they had arenas for that stuff. Monsters abound as well, from dinosaurs to Aurochs. In the Hollow World, the sun never sets. Magic works differently than it does outside. Some spells don't work at all. That was another thing that I liked about Hollow World, was because magic has always been so powerful in Dungeons and Dragons. And it was nice, and especially I don't play casters. So it was nice to see a lot of magic not even work in Hollow World. So I was kind of cheering under my breath. So, and quite often, getting in is much easier than getting out of the Hollow World. But this box set, is packed. It's got like 5 full maps. It's got 3 books, a couple hundred pages of content. And I mean, it's just chock packed full. So here's and these maps are all like 8-panel maps and stuff. So, you know, there's the entry points to Hollow World. You know, here's all the land, the Hollow World planetary map. And like I said, these fold out as well. And here's another one. Here's the actual continents of Hollow World. And, you know, they're put together just like the Gazetteers, which is really nice. There you go. I mean, just so much content. I love the extra maps and stuff like that. I just love this stuff. Here's Darastra. There's more of Hollow World. So much cool stuff in this already. I mean, the maps are amazing. So with the player's guide, this is set up just like the Gazetteers. I mean, there's literally a whole book. I believe it's a 32 page or 64 page book. I think it's 64 pages. But yeah, there you go. 64 pages. There's 64 pages of new classes and customization in Hollow World. So not only can you bring your, you know, known world characters in, you can also start a campaign here in Hollow World, which is actually really cool. The warrior elf, there's a new warrior elf, and all kinds of new skills. Just, I mean, pages of new skills, which is really nice. I mean, just pages of skills. Isn't that awesome? All kinds of new languages. There's all kinds of new weapons. There's new equipment. Here's all of the, you know, if you're going to play a beastman or something like that, here's all of the different stats. If you're going to play an elf, or if you're going to play an Askan, there's the Elves of Icevale. You can play a Hatakan, which is like a sort of like a wolf, which would be based in Nithya, where, you know, the lands of Egypt are. You can be a Genite. You can be a Krugel Orc. You can be a Kubitz. You can be a Malfegi Lizard Man. I mean, there's just all kinds. Here's a new pirate you can be. A Millennium, which is basically the Roman Empire. I mean, it's beautiful. There's the Nithians, which are based off of Egypt. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, there's just so many, and it just keeps going on and on and on. But this whole book is nothing but new playable classes and races that you can add on top of the core classes in, you know, the known world basic D&D, like the cleric, fighter, thief, and magic user. Then here is the Dungeon Master Sourcebook, which I always love the Sourcebooks because, I mean, this has 100 pages of atlas information for all the maps. So it talks about all of the Hollow World locations. It also talks, I remember this going into, there's like history of how the Hollow World began and how the Immortals made it. The Sourcebook also has all of the major Immortals that are within Hollow World now. And it has everything that has to do with their personalities, how they contributed, stuff like that. There's a historical timeline. And it just goes into all the different areas. And this is how I can tell that I don't think Hollow World was finished, because it talks about, you know, beastmen and more dark elves and all that kind of stuff. But there were never any supplements put out. I mean, Hollow World just basically abruptly ended after a couple of years. And yeah, it was kind of disappointing because I was really, really liking Hollow World. And in fact, we actually played Hollow World, and, you know, some of these adventures here's the third book. There's, you know, 3 adventures and a bunch of adventure ideas for Hollow World. And we were playing as, I remember we were playing as tribesmen, and we basically didn't start with anything. We didn't have anything but like maybe like a hatchet. I mean, we didn't have anything, and we had a good time doing that. I mean, but this whole book is nothing but adventure hooks and adventures, and 3 major adventures. So this is what we were playing right here. And we had a good time with it. We made new characters. Of course I made a cleric, but clerics are totally different in Hollow World than what they are in the known world. But yeah, I mean, just look at all these. And then here's, you know, Hollow World is big for dinosaurs. If you like dinosaurs, not only are they in X1, you know, the Isle of Dread, dinosaurs are all over the Hollow World too. So, but there's a lot of new creatures in here. You can see all of the art is like dinosaurs and stuff. So, yeah, there you go. Triceratops. 20 hit dice. And then here's some art as well. And then, you know, here it has a sort of like a chart where if you're, you know, basic or companion or expert, here's the kind of monsters that you'll see in these types of regions. So yeah, this is really cool. Hollow World was a great addition for basic D&D. I mean, it just came out of nowhere. And I think I even actually read an article to where they had been talking about doing, I think this was in Dragon Magazine. And this is years ago too. Actually, when they used to print magazines. Remember that, everybody? I don't know, you young bucks out there may not, but the old grognards like myself, we would remember physical print copies of Dungeon and Dragon Magazine. So I remember reading one time in Dragon Magazine that Hollow World was just, from how I interpreted it, it sounded like they just threw Hollow World together because they didn't want to create a whole new setting. Even though Hollow World is a setting, they wanted to keep it in the known world. So they just basically just hollowed out the center of Mystara and, you know, put Hollow World there. And they kind of joked about it in the magazine also. So that was kind of cool. But and here's another way that I can tell that I think Hollow World was just cut off, because there's 3 source books, and these source books are for the major kingdoms. So here's your Sons of Aska, which have to do with the Aztecs. Here's the Kingdom of Nithya, that has to do with the Egyptians. And then the Millennium Empire, that has to do with, you know, Rome and, you know, the Romans and stuff. Well, that's and this is the HWR2 series. Well, the HWR series. And there was only 3 of them. And then it talks about, you know, all these other, you know, like the Dark Elves. It talks about the Beastmen, but they never had any settings books come out. So that's why I think this just kind of abruptly ended. Sort of like a couple of my games where a couple of the games that I ran in the past, they just ended and that was it. But yeah. So I've got all of the Hollow World stuff, and, you know, most of these I haven't even opened up. So, but here's the Sons of Aska, which is definitely, you know, the Aztec theme. So the Sons of Aska, Heart of Darkness. In the Hollow World, one civilization above all others is known as the fiercest, most dangerous race to be avoided as much as possible, the Azkans. Are they truly cannibals, giving to performing sacrifices as entertainment? Is their architecture really some of the most extraordinary in all of the Hollow World? Is there any truth to the rumor that there is some connection between the Askans and the Outer World tribes of the Truagan clans? There you go. GAZ-14, the Native American gazetteer that was themed from the natives. Are there any pleasant qualities about this warrior race? Read the book and find out yourself. So each one of these, these supplements or accessories for the major areas of Hollow World, they have 2 books. There's like a 64-page DM book. And then there's also a 32-page campaign and an adventure. So I mean, this is awesome. And then there was actually a 3-part adventure for the Sons of Aska, which is later on, which is HWA 1, 2, and 3, and it's Night Whale, Night Rage, and Night Storm. So Sons of Aska also worked with those modules. So yeah, I kind of think that Hollow World just had the plug pulled on it, unfortunately. So here's the Kingdom of Nithya, Egyptian theme. This is I had this. This was the first one that I bought, and I have no clue what happened to it. I don't know if one of my buddies or something ended up with it, but I had to actually get a new one. And this was, oh man, I bought this years ago, and it was still, I got it for what, $10 or whatever the price was. Yeah, $10.95. So yeah, the Kingdom of Nithya, Egyptian themed, and this is just like the Sons of Aska, where this has all of the information for that area. So it has all of the information for the locations on the map and stuff. Also to go along with the atlas that, is in the box set. So magic and mystery, the Kingdom of Nithya. The Nithians have long been the stuff of legend on the outer world. They are a little less mysterious in the Hollow World. Ruled by powerful pharaohs, said by some to be immortals in a mortal form, they are the most changeless of all the cultures in this realm. What are the fabled powers of the Nithian pyramids? Is there still a relationship between the Haptans and the Tanagaro tribes? Do the tales of fabulous floating chariots drawn by fiery beasts contain more than a kernel of truth? The answers to these and many more questions are contained in these pages. So this is actually bigger than Sons of Aska. There's actually 2 48 pages. There's a player's booklet, a massive double-sided poster of Nithya. Yeah, I remember that. And then there's the DM's booklet. And that's what I thought. This was it, you know what I mean? And then when I saw the box set, I was like, holy cow, there's a lot more information on the Hollow World. So there's all kinds of details on new magical items and Nithian character classes. And there you go. Yeah. Kingdom of Nithya. Here's the Millennium Empire. Now, this was totally MacGyver on how I came across this. Now, you'll see that this is Challenger Series too. And Challenger Series is post 1992. Yeah, 1992 and older. So, 1992 and newer. So, the Millennium Empire, I never had this. And I didn't even know that there was an HWR3. And I just happened to come across this. One of my viewers years ago, I had always talked about basic Dungeons and Dragons, and I talked about Hollow World and all this other stuff. And the guy's name is Mark. And Mark sent me an email and he said, hey, I have a Hollow World module that you might want and you may need. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, which one is it? And he said, oh, it's HWR3 or whatever it was. And he goes, it's the Millennium Empire. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I know of the Millennium Empire in Hollow World, but I didn't know that there was a book for it. So he sent this book to me, and I totally appreciate it. And I've had this for years now. And the Millennium Empire is obviously it's, Roman themed. And I'll kind of read the back for you guys as well. So the Millennium Empire, imperial intrigue. Once a great people in the known world, the Millennians now administer a mighty empire in the hollow world. Loosely inspired by classical Greece, that doesn't look like Greece to me. But anyways, loosely inspired by classical Greece, this is a nation of philosophers, oracles, and architects and mighty pikemen in a strange land where citizens elect their own leaders and ultimately the emperor himself. A society as political as millennia cannot avoid intrigue, and the land is rife with conspiracies, from the would-be kings to the lowly slaves to the dark grasping servants of chaos. It seems everyone in millennia belongs to one secret society or another. But even on the surface, there's plenty of drama, from the legendary Acropolis to the eccentric Academy of the Arcane Carissa. Adventure calls you to the Millennium Empire. So this has a 32-page adventure book, a 64-page campaign book, and then there's a full-color poster map of Millennia. And then it has all kinds of monuments, colossi, and mysterious temple sites, too. Lots of new magic items, monsters, character types are included. And then, that's it. So the Millennium Empire. I guess it's Greek themed, even though it looks like it's Roman. Although, the architecture is kind of Greek, but then again, Romans stole everything from the Greeks anyway. So, Hollow World. Here's the 3-part adventure that was based off the Sons of Askin. And in fact, let's open up this Millennium. Because I didn't show you guys any of the contents of the accessories, so. Let's kind of take a look at this. Yeah, here we go. Here's the... Oh, yeah, look at that. There's a ship. Like a undead ship. That's cool. And then here's Zargoshian Stronghold and new melee weapons. Some new. Most of them look... couple of new armors and shields, a couple of new ranged weaponry or missile weapons. They're not called ranged weapons. They're called missile weapons in basic Dungeons and Dragons. So, but there you go. Here's the 32-page book. This is the adventure book. Or is it? We'll find out. Let's kind of open it up. All kinds of rumors and emperors and senators. Kind of talks about, the citizens, the magistrates, the generals, the scholars, athletics, gymnastics, culture, arts and entertainment, food, coins. Yeah, this is basically about society, looks like. And then looks like there's some new skills, which one of the new skills is chariot driving. Nice, I like that. Chariot combat. There's a new, nope, appraising was there. No, I don't think appraising was. Boxing, a new boxing skill. Forgery. Knot tying. That's cool. New skill, more new skills. Wow. Seamanship, wrestling. There's all of the new arms and armor. The needle dagger. Okay, so here's new cleric classes. The Cleric of Holiv. The Cleric of Matera. Ooh, Griffin Rider. Wow. Cleric of Petra. Oh, there you go. Yeah, cool. All kinds of nice character customization stuff. Here's the Millennium Empire map. Oh wow, this is actually like a high gloss paper. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah. And Mark kept us in such good shape. Thank you so much again, Mark, for this. I didn't even know it existed, to be honest. Here's the 64-page book. And this has everything about... it looks like this is locations and atlas information that would be on the map. So that's nice. Bunch of stuff about the secret societies. Oh, name generator. Yeah, lots of organizations. Very nice. Looks like this book has never even been opened. The Tomb of Astius with all of the locations fleshed out. That's nice. So yeah, here's adventures and adventure ideas. Campaigns. Here's all kinds of new monsters. All kinds of, wow, all kinds of new spells, new magic items. Wow, a couple of artifacts. Oh, wow. The Book of Zargos. Well, that's huge. Fountain of Tomorrow. Helm of Holiv, the Helm of Petra, the Icon of Petra. Wow, this is cool, man. All kinds of new... Here's the new monsters. Zargosian Bat, the Shaggy Auroch. Very cool. So this is basically what entails one of the... and I love the way these are set up. Unfortunately, there's only 3 accessories out for Hollow World and the box set. So here's the 3-part adventure based off of the Askans. Here's the first one, which is HWA1 Night Whale. Into the Depths. This is the first adventure in the Blood Brethren trilogy. Into the Depths. Under the ruins of Barleycorn Monastery, a tunnel leads 1,000 miles downward. Wow, 1,000 miles downward. Through it, a rescue mission into the Broken Lands turns much stranger, much more serious, for the trail leads to the Hollow World. Okay, so but it's only 200 miles. I remember reading that. From the surface of the known world to... Okay, I don't know. I don't get that part, but that's cool. Anyway, it's 1,000 miles. But the trail leads to the Hollow World. Launch your D&D game players into fabulous Lost World adventure across the Hollow World. Travel the Askan Empire. Explore the secret labyrinth of the Great Pyramid of Chitlacon. Fly to the core of the known... Fly to the core of the world and enter the smoking mirror. Was that? I think that was in like one of the later adventures or something like that. So, before the monstrous Prince Kano enacts his devastating scheme, a scheme called Night Whale. So this has a 64-page adventure in it, and it's for character levels 6 to 8. So this is a caravan map route, timeline of events, a monster summary table, a couple of small black and white maps for you. Here's your 64-page adventure. Wow, it's nice. Oh, and another map too. Cool. This is the city of Huitlactima. There you go. This looks like the inside of the pyramid. That's cool. You could still use these. I mean, you could just use small little markers or something. I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to use miniatures, but yeah, you could still use... These are still usable for sure. Nice. And then here's the adventure, 64 pages. Looks like about page 60. Yeah, it looks like it's nicely organized as well. Has like conclusion to the end of the part. It looks like it's divided into different parts. Yeah, so it looks like there's 11 chapters. That's cool. Oh, and then there's a section on pyramid games as well, page 39. So that's cool. Talks about ceremonies and everything else. Yeah, cool. Then it looks like there may be some items and monsters. Yeah, there you go. Wow. These are actually statted NPCs. That's cool. Couple of new monsters. New magical item. Powder of oak and acorn. Very nice. Ooh, new spells. A new 7th level cleric spell. A 5th level magic user spell. Oh, very nice. The Grasping Dark. And Distance Distortion. So, very cool. So there you go. There's part 1 of the Brethren series. Night Whale. Here's Night Rage. This is still in the pack. This is part 2, which is HWA2 Adventure. And this is part 2 of the, what was it? Blood Brethren or something? Yeah, they're part 2 of the Blood Brethren trilogy. So, Bright and Dark. What level? I guess we'll get to that part. What level range is this for? Character level 7 to 9. So this is part 2, Bright and Dark. Snakes fly, stones walk, and colossal monsters burrow in the world's crust. Do these omens foretell catastrophe? Perhaps so, for now the Dark Elves walk in the sunlight, wearing armor that turns the sharpest blades and strongest spells. They are poised to conquer the fabulous Hollow World. But what is this armor? How does its creation involve the ancient, mile-long great annelids, as well as those wondrous creatures, the feathered serpents? The mystery solution draws your heroes across 3,000 miles, from ruins to seaports, through the trackless caverns beneath the world's spine, and wonder where they got that from. And finally, to the eternal land of Nithya. There, your heroes discover the true meaning of Night Rage. So part 2, 64-page, another 64-page adventure, and I'm sure it has everything else needed with additional content and stuff. Here's a couple more. This is actually sealed as well. This is part 3 of the Blood Brethren line. This is Night Storm. And to find the immortals. The all-powerful immortals have vanished. The quest to locate them has led across the Atlas Ocean to the land of Shajapur, where Moguls hunt tigers. Untouchables respectively avoid higher caste, and holy fakirs or fakirs perch immobile for years on end. In this land of shrines and elephants and shape-shifting assassins, resolution may lie at the end of the mysterious Emerald River, but no one knows the location of this river, and no map shows its bed. Does the answer lie within the Temple of 8 Sweet Winds? Hopefully so, for time grows short. The immortals themselves must be found and enlisted to stave off the approaching cataclysm called Night Storm. So it looks like, this is part 3. It's got another 64-page adventure. And then it also has a bunch of history spanning Blood Brethren trilogy lore. And this is for character levels 8 to 10. So Night Storm. And then here's the last one. I'm not sure if anybody else knows of any other Hollow World modules, please let me know down in the comment section, because I haven't done a lot of research on trying to see if there's more content, but I don't think there is, but if there is, please let me know. But this is the Millennium Scepter, and this is an adventure for 4 to 6 characters, level 6 to 8. This is part of the Challenger series as well, so this is 1992 or newer, probably. Yep, 1992. So the Millennium Scepter. Civil war, unrest, turmoil, rebellion. As above, so below, the cataclysmic events of the Wrath of the Immortals. Oh, Wrath of the Immortals box set. All right. So the cataclysmic events of the Wrath of the Immortals echo throughout the Hollow World setting. The Millennium Empire, with its classical Greek culture, has not escaped. Already the streets are unsafe and the omens are getting worse. The emperor is dead. Long live the emperor. But is the new emperor a man of the people or a tool in the hands of malevolent powers? Walk carefully, for no stranger is safe upon the streets these days, and adventurers least of all. The mood of the capital city is turning ugly. Minions of the new emperor look on uncaring, while citizens disappear and philosophers fall to heedless mobs. The old emperor's elite guards are now disbanded and scattered. Disorder reigns, and restless citizens threatens open revolt. And yet a whisper is heard. Civil war can be averted. An ancient artifact called the Millennium Scepter can rally those who would serve the Empire best. But the scepter has been lost for generations, and who can say where it might be? The trail leads into the depths of the city and across a dangerous wilderness to a forgotten oracle. For the lucky and the bold, perhaps it will lead to... And that's where it ends. So, yeah, the Millennium Scepter. Looks like another 64-page adventure. It doesn't say. But it goes with the Millennium Empire accessory. So it will go with this. And then it has rules to adapt it to your AD&D world. Referring to AD&D 2nd edition, I'm sure. So, there you go, everybody. That's Hollow World. And I think I have everything for Hollow World. I'm pretty sure I am. But if I'm missing something in Hollow World, I'm sure you'll let me know down in the comment section. And I appreciate you guys watching. And if you like the video, please thumbs it up. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel. So until next time, everybody, happy gaming, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.